to my YouTube. It's your girl Honey. Today we're going to talk about having Chiron in your 3rd house. So most of you who are my regulars, my locals, you guys would know that my Chiron is in my 2nd house, right? And I expressed heavily about that. Also, when it was squaring my ascendant, I expressed heavily about that. But Chiron in the 3rd house, I definitely have a massive I feel like I'm very connected to this placement because I relate heavily to a lot of the stuff that is mentioned in Chiron in the 3rd. Now, what is Chiron? Chiron is an asteroid. It's known as your wounded healer. It's basically in regards to any traumas or childhood experiences that you would have had. It basically molds you into who you are as an adult today. Having your Chiron in the 3rd house represents your siblings, your neighbours. Your neighbours can be who you live next door to. It can be the people up the road who you travel up the road to see. It hasn't got to be your direct neighbours. It's even family members, not family members, but friends of family members that can be seen as your neighbours. It's also ruled by Gemini, which is the house of Mercury, communication, the 3rd house, communication, how you take in information as well, your intelligence, etc., etc. Now this is an interesting house because like I said to you before, I relate heavily to this house. My 3rd house is actually pretty empty, but I don't know why, I just relate a lot to the things that has that is 3rd house related. So the person who has Chiron in their 3rd house, as a child they would have experienced some issues with expressing, you know, having your Chiron then, especially if you've got Mercury in there as well, that can definitely contribute to how you express. Like, this person might have dyslexia, this person might not be able to get their words out properly when they're speaking. Like, even with me, like, there's times where I will speak and I will express exactly how I feel about whatever, and then there's times where I trip on a word. It's like I hate that shit, do you know what I'm saying? And this is definitely 3rd house Chiron situation. Like, these people would have experienced, like, just your teacher not quite understanding you. And let's also bear in mind that the 9th house is higher education, the 3rd house is like your school experience, stuff like that. So you know, your teacher would not really have understood you, or you might have expressed an opinion, and your teacher, there's just a lot of misunderstanding. This can also represent your school peers, your classmates. Like I said, you may have experienced some form of dyslexia, or like an isolation period in school as well, because, you know, in school, because you can't communicate and get out what you want to say properly, people not understanding you, and you kind of go into yourself and you isolate yourself and you become very silent. These people can definitely become a little bit mute, you know. They might experience it's easier just to not say nothing because no one understands me, let me just be quiet. A lot of these kids can be completely looked over and be seen as being shy, but it's not even that they're shy, it's that they look at confidence as the be-all and end-all, like being able to express, to say how you feel, for people to understand you, and, you know, you're looked at as this amazing communicator. To them, that is all they want to be able to do. It's what they look up to. Like, I want to be able to speak like that, to do public speeches and to communicate and for people to listen. That's what I want, you know. These people would have experienced, definitely had some type of bullying in their younger years, and also to do with the siblings, this house as well. So this person would definitely have older siblings, right? And they would experience that their older sibling is bullying them, and it's like, why would you do this to me? Like, I'm your younger brother or sister. Like, why would you treat me? You're supposed to love me. Why are you being horrible to me? And most of the time, that older sibling is bullying them due to jealousy. That's all it is. You know, these people can grow up and feel like, still have that pain, but they remember their siblings bullying them, and they take it into their adult years, and it's still very much unresolved. Because usually the person who does the bullying, you know, once they've got past that immaturity stage and wanting to hurt others, they don't want to talk about it no more. You know, oh, I can't remember. Oh, you know, if I wasn't going through the pain, so it couldn't have been that bad. You know, they don't recognize it, and that Chiron in the third house still remembers it. It's painful, and they want to resolve the issues that they have with their siblings in the older years. So that's definitely something that a lot of Chiron in the third house people experience. Now, those people who do not have siblings, they would have gone through a time where, you know, oh, I wish I had a younger brother or sister, or just someone around that I can just communicate and talk with. And you know, like there's siblings out there that are happy being the only child because they get all the attention. But Chiron in the third house people, they would just feel like, no, I want to play with someone. I want to go out and do this and do that, and I want to have someone to say my brother or sister. This is Chiron in the third house placement. So this person will definitely have issues with their siblings, feel some type of resentment towards them. So Chiron in the third house placement people, when it comes to their neighbours, they would have had some type of bad experience with their neighbours. Remember, I said your neighbours can be friends of the family. You know, it hasn't got to be, you know, who you live with directly, but you know, directly you can definitely have people that live around you that may mistreat you as a child, may have mistreated you, or friends of the family, you know, they may have mistreated you in any type of way, and this can definitely lead to your issues that you have now. Well, a lot of these people can end up as teachers, you know, standing up in front of a class, speaking out loud because they've once they've combated their their fear of expression, firework, their fear of expression, you know, they tend to be really good teachers, and they're able to really support those children in the classroom that are not being heard, because there is always one or two kids in that class that are never being heard. Their opinions always like, what the fuck, what? You know, that teacher can definitely help them, give them the additional attention that they need, because they went through that same pain when they was growing up also. With these Chiron in the third house people, I would always suggest that, even with me, like when I was growing up, I remember being put into different classes. My Mercury is in Taurus, right? So how I take in information, slowly, slow. That's how I learn, and I'm practical. So my method of learning is not how the curriculum wants you to teach the children of, you know, in the Western world or wherever. It's not. I can't do theory stuff. Like, I need practical. Give me something hands-on. And I find when it comes to these people, it's much easier for them to learn in a practical kind of way, or for them to dive into being creative with their hands, because these people can be very, very skilled. You know, I couldn't do bare shit in high school, primary school. Like, I'm sitting here trying to do maths, and bruv, I just don't get it. Like, okay, whatever, it is what it is. Square equals this minus what? You know, I'm just sitting there like, I'm not interested. Give me a pencil. Let me draw. Let me draw everyone in this classroom. Let me paint. Let me make something out of scratch. Throughout all of my years in school, I was always able to create things from my hands, and that talent, I feel, does come from my dad. But this is what I'm saying, I relate a lot to the third house, because when it came to me being creative, I can do anything with my hands, you know, anything. And also, these people should also dive into sport, because anything that involves less communication, you know, and actually like being creative with the other things that you have, like your hands, you know, communicating with your hands even, it's more beneficial to you. You just feel more like you're accepted in society, because you can't express like everyone else. You can't express like a Gemini Mercury or a Virgo Mercury, right? But trust and believe, when it comes to what you do with your hands, how you build stuff, how you make things, you know, how you can pass your driving test with flying colours because you're practical, you know, how you can just be ridiculously talented in sports. Like, embrace that, because it makes you feel more accepted, but you win a lot more. And that's my own personal advice or experience, because that's me, basically. So this is my Chiron in the third house. I hope you guys have thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got house 6 to do next. but I really want to do 11 as well. Don't know yet, but I will see you guys on the next one. Everyone, take care and have a wonderful day.